If you've opened Power Automate for the first time and thought, why does it look so confusing? Don't worry, because in this video, I'll quickly walk you through the parts you'll actually use the most. So first of all, Power Automate is a part of Microsoft's Power Platform, which basically means it works with other Microsoft tools like Power Apps and Power BI. But honestly, you don't really need to worry about this too much right now, because once you understand the layout of Power Automate itself, everything else starts making a lot more sense. So this is a home page. Think of it like your dashboard. You can create your own automations, but if you are starting out, I wouldn't recommend that yet. There are some Microsoft Learn documents for you to look through if you want to. But let's move on to the create section. Now, the create section is probably where you'll spend most of your time, because this is where you actually build your automations. So whether you want something to run automatically on a schedule or when you click a button, this is where you set all of that up. Templates. Templates are actually really useful when you're starting out, because instead of building everything from scratch, you can use a pre-built automations and customize them. So you have a ton which you can look through, and it does make it easier when you are starting out if you just want a pre-built flow. Now, my flows, this is where your flows live. So if you ever build something and later think, where did my flow go? It will usually be here. You'll also notice a few other sections down here, like approval, solutions, AI hub, automation center, and process mining. Approvals is basically for approving or rejecting things. Examples include like holiday requests, manager approvals, document sign-offs, and honestly, some of these areas become more useful later on, but when you're first starting out, you probably won't use them as much. One thing that can feel a little confusing at first is environments, but honestly, just think of them like separate workspaces. So, for example, a company might have one for testing and another one for live automations. So just to make this feel a bit more real, here's a really simple example of a flow that I did: save email attachments to OneDrive. And if you do want to know how to do this, then check out my other videos. It's also important to remember the trigger starts everything. So the trigger here is when a new email arrives, that is the trigger. Then the action is what follows. So when the trigger runs, when a new email arrives, the action is to create a file in OneDrive. The connectors are what make it possible. So Outlook and OneDrive are the connectors, and they let Power Automate talk to those apps behind the scenes. Also, the search bar helps you quickly find templates and connectors if you don't want to click around. Hopefully, Power Automate feels a little less overwhelming now. You don't need to learn every single feature straight away. Most of the time, you'll mainly be using Create, templates, My Flows, and connectors. And once you get comfortable with those areas, everything else starts making a lot more sense. I'll be posting more Power Automate tutorials soon, so keep an eye out for those. Thank you for watching.